Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Memorial Field, right behind the campus of Needham High School in Needham, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of some weekend afternoon baseball here between the hosting Needham High Rockets and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. You know, it's typically a good game whenever Brookline and Needham face off. And I mean, across several sports, these are two local rivals that know how to go at it against each other. Earlier this season, these two teams faced off. That was back on, I want to say, April 22nd. That game ended in an 8-4 victory for the visiting Needham Rockets out in over at Warren Field in Brookline. The Warriors did take an early 3-0 lead in that one, but could not hold on to the lead. We'll see what results we get now out in Needham. Of course, this game is a makeup game. It was originally scheduled for much earlier in the year, but got rained out. Rain the day before the game was originally scheduled to cause some very big puddles to accumulate out here at Memorial Field, and I know that because I was kind of the last to know that game was rained out. So I actually showed up and I saw the field, and yeah, they were not playing baseball at that field. So we got a makeup game, a rematch of an earlier season game. Two local rivals. Should be good. Let's take a look at the starting lineups today. And you know what? Since they're warming up out on the field, let's start for a change with the Brookline High Warriors. Leading off for Brookline today, the designated hitter, number 14, Declan Tracy. Batting second for Brookline, the first baseman and co-captain, number 10, Eli Rothman. Batting third, the left fielder, number 7, Daniel Pancho Villa. In the cleanup spot for Brookline today, the center fielder, number 18, Matt Richardson. Batting fifth and taking the mound for Brookline today, number 24, Connor Jernigan. Batting sixth, the shortstop and co-captain, number 6, Jack Martell. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 9, Charlie Engelman. Batting ninth, the right fielder, number 13, Nico Hart. And just playing the field for Brookline today, the second baseman, number 8, Nady Kessler. So that is the starting lineup for Brookline today. Tracy, the DH, Rothman at first, Villa in left, Richardson in center, Jernigan on the mound, Martell at short, Melton behind the plate, Engelman at third, Hart in right, and Kessler at second. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for the hosting Needham High Rockets. Leading off for Needham today, the designated hitter, number 12, Max Casper. Batting second, the center fielder, number 3, Dylan Weinbaum. Batting third, the second baseman, number 15, Will Gwarek. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 8, Jacob Smith. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 24, Jack Levine. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 9, Nico Schwartz. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 2, Jeremy Melton. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 20, Kevin Barnett. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 6, Nate Solomon. And taking the mound for Needham today, number 13, Ryan Torrisi. That is the starting lineup for the Needham High Rockets today. Casper, the DH, Weinbaum in center, Gwarek at second, Smith at third, Levine at first, Schwartz at short, Melton in right, Barnett in left, Solomon behind the plate, and Torrisi on the mound. Once again, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Memorial Field in Needham, Massachusetts for live coverage of today's high school baseball contest between the Needham High Rockets and Brookline High Warriors. If you go on to enjoy this broadcast, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. And as always, if you got anything to say, give your shouts of support to your favorite team or player. If you want to, give your thoughts and insights on the action going on in the game, or if I'm saying someone's name wrong and you want to correct me, or there's any technical issues you're encountering with my stream, whatever it is you want to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. Looks like we still got a bit of time before this game is set to get underway. So I'll take a brief break off the mic, but I'll be back with the start of this ball game. Stay tuned. All right, as we get ready to get this one underway, I am back on the mic. Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Memorial Field in Needham, Massachusetts, to bring you coverage of today's high school baseball contest between the hosting Needham High Rockets and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. In case any of you missed my earlier reading of the two teams' rosters, I'll give it to you again right quick. For the hosting Needham High Rockets, leading off the designated hitter, number 12, Max Casper. Batting second, the center fielder, number 3, Dylan Weinbaum. Batting third, the second baseman, number 15, Will Gwarek. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 8, Jacob Smith. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 24, Jack Levine. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 9, Nico Schwartz. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 2, Jeremy Melton. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 20, Kevin Barnett. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 6, Nate Solomon. And just taking the mound, not batting today, the pitcher, number 13, Ryan Teresi. And then for the visiting Brookline High Warriors, about to take to the plate for the top of the first inning. Leading off, we have the designated hitter, number 14, Declan Tracy. Batting second, the first baseman, number 10, Eli Rothman. Batting third, the left fielder, number 7, Daniel Villa. Batting fourth, the center fielder, number 18, Matt Richardson. Batting fifth, the pitcher, number 24, Connor Jernigan. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 6, Jack Martell. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 9, Charlie Engelman. Batting ninth, the right fielder, number 13, Nico Hart. And just playing the field for Brookline today, the second baseman, number 8, Nady Kessler. So those are our starting lineups for today. You can see Ryan Teresi finishing his warm-up pitches for Needham. And now, getting ready to step into the box for Brookline, the leadoff hitter and designated hitter, number 14, Declan Tracy. Tracy, an interesting choice to start. This is only his second start of the season and only his 8th plate appearance. He is 2 for 6 so far this season with a walk and 3 runs scored. First pitch of the game is in there for strike 1. A 1 pitch, and he golfs this one foul for strike 2. Tracy, usually a guy known for his glove and his speed, particularly out in the outfield, but getting the leadoff spot and the DH spot today, he faces an 0-2 count against Teresi, as this one comes in high for ball 1. Again, the last time these two teams faced off, it ended in an 8-4 win for Needham. Brookline took an early lead, but it did not hold. Swing and a miss. No, he got a piece of it. Tracy stays alive at 1-2. Now another 1-2 pitch. This time swung on and missed. Tracy goes down on strikes. And that is 1 down to start the top of the first. Now batting, the first baseman, number 10, Eli Rothman. Rothman coming off a very good game on Thursday against Boston Latin Academy. He finished 3 for 4 with a double, a run scored, and 2 RBI as he gets a piece of that first one for strike 1. Rothman coming into this game with a 257, 333, 286 slash line. Leads the team in RBI with 6 and steals with 6 as he takes strike 2. Rothman is 9 for 35 so far this season with a double, 2 walks, and a team-leading 2 hit-by pitches. As this one comes in high for ball 1. Last time against Needham, Rothman was 1 for 4 with a 2-run single that helped build Brookline's big lead of 3-0, but they couldn't hold it. And this time he gets good contact, but right at the shortstop, well caught by Nico Schwartz for out number 2. That was good contact and, just a little bit more leftward trajectory, and maybe it doesn't hang long enough for the shortstop to catch that. 2 down, now up. And taking ball 1 is the left fielder, number 7, Daniel Poncho Villa. 1-0 pitch, and that's a swing and a miss for strike 1. Last time against Needham, Villa was 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored. And he swings and misses again for strike 2. Villa comes into this game with a 229, 325, 229 slash line, 8 for 35 with 5 walks, 3 steals, 8 runs scored, and 4 RBI, as that one just misses for ball 2. Two-two pitch inside, ball 3. Now the payoff pitch, and he gets it out of play on the foul ball, and Villa stays alive with a full count. 2 down, bases empty here in the top of the first. Villa has fought his way to a full count against Teresi. Payoff pitch again, and he fouls it off again. Villa not going down easy here in this first at bat. And that's helpful for getting that pitch count up and seeing more of what Teresi brings on the mound. Third payoff pitch, and this one comes in the dirt for ball 4. Villa battles his way to a 2-out walk. And now with a runner on first and 2 down, up comes the center fielder, number 18, Matt Richardson. First pitch comes in high for ball 1. Richardson has really come alive in the later portions of this season. He now leads Brookline in every percentage category with a slash line of 391, 500, 478. Attempted pickoff for Villa, and he dives back easily. On the exact numbers, Richardson 9 for 23 with 2 doubles, 4 walks, a hit by pitch, 4 steals, 5 runs scored, and 4 RBI. 1-0 pitch. That one misses inside for ball 2. Brief meeting at the mound between Teresi and his catcher, Nate Solomon. And the runner takes off, and Richardson swings as Villa slides in safely with a successful steal. So that is going to be strike 1 to Richardson, but Villa now in scoring position. I mean, that pitch was to the moon. You wonder if it felt like Richardson was just swinging just to try and interfere a little bit. 2-1 pitch now, big swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. 2-2 count, runner on second, 2 outs here in the top of the first. And Richardson gets a lot of this one, launched out to left. Left fielder on his horse, gets the catch. A huge chase down by Kevin Barnett to end the top of the first inning and potentially save a run from all the way on the other side of the field. I couldn't tell if that one was heading into foul territory or not. But either way, that one is out number 3. And we end the top of the first with no score. So as Brookline gets ready to take the field for the bottom half of the first inning, due up for Needham will be Max Casper, Dylan Weinbaum, and Will Gwarek. Taking the mound for Brookline today will be number 24, Connor Jernigan. This will be Jernigan's 5th pitching appearance, his 4th start, as he now shares the team lead in pitching starts with Jack Martell, who started on Thursday against Boston Latin and pitched a gem against the Dragons. 6 1/3 innings, 1 unearned run allowed on 3 hits and 4 walks, and a whopping 12 strikeouts. Jernigan comes into this one with an 0-1 record, 11-plus innings pitched, 9 runs, 7 of them earned, 15 hits, 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and 4 strikeouts. He's got an ERA of 4.45 so far this season, a 1.64 whip, and 2.55 strikeouts per 7 innings. And so now the warm-up's about to end. And leading off for Needham will be the designated hitter, number 12, Max Casper. Interestingly enough, Casper, one of the few players on the Needham roster today who did not face Brookline the last time these two teams went at it. So no prior stats for me to go on here. First pitch, swung on and missed for strike 1. And that one's in there for strike 2. Good start for Jernigan, 2 quick strikes. And fouls this one off. Casper stays alive at 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch again. That one comes in high. And Casper did not chase. 1-2 the count. That one hits him. A bad break for Jernigan, or in this case, maybe a bad lack of a break, depending on what happened there with that pitch. Got off to a good start with a nice 0-2 count, but now a potential out just ends up at first base. Now batting with a runner on first, the center fielder, number 3, Dylan Weinbaum. First pitch, and he hits a high bouncer over to second. Kessler on to second for 1, on to first. Nice scoop by Rothman for the double play. And you know Jernigan is loving that A tough hit by pitch to start, and his defense rebounds for him with the 4-6-3 double play. Now base is empty and 2 down. Up comes the second baseman, number 15, Will Gwarek. First pitch misses, ball 1. Gwarek last time against Brookline, he went 1 for 4 with a walk, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. And he slices this one foul for strike 1. I neglected to mention Weinbaum's stats from last time, as last time he went 2 for 3 with a walk, a steal, a run scored, and an RBI against Brookline. But in that at-bat, he grounded out into an unfortunate double play. And this one's a grounder, fielded by Martell, but he cannot collect it. You know, not necessarily a routine grounder, but I would still mark that as an E6. Now up to the plate for Needham, the third baseman, number 8, Jacob Smith. Smith was explosive last time against Brookline, 2 for 5 with a pair of doubles, though he did not take part in any scoring. First one is in there for strike 1. Gwarek stands at first with 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. As that one misses inside, ball 1. Brookline's got to be wary of the steal here. They pulled that exact tactic in the top of the first, with Villa stealing second. And now Gwarek takes off, pitches in there for strike 2, and no one was quite ready to cover second on that play. Debatable if they would have caught Gwarek anyway. So that will put a runner in scoring position, but it does give Brookline the 1-2 count against Smith, as Jernigan stares back in. Gwarek now at second. Pitch. Hard grounder, and it's juggled by Rothman. And that's going to be another reach safely for Smith, as Rothman slipped and fell trying to collect that grounder. So back-to-back grounders. You know, again, not necessarily the easiest grounders in the world, but ones that I would say the fielders should have made, and that I would mark as fielding errors. That's tough for Jernigan as he now steps back in, still with 2 outs. Now runners on the corners, and up comes the first baseman, number 24, Jack Levine. And Smith already taking off. They throw to second. Now they throw for home, and he's safe. The trickeration there got Brookline fooled, as Gwarek comes in to score the game's first run on a double steal before the first pitch was even thrown. And in that situation, you have to wonder, why don't they just get Smith in the rundown? Yes, you allow the first run, but you get out of the inning with minimal damage. And that first one comes in high for ball 1. Levine, last time against Brookline, he was 0 for 2 with a pair of walks and a strikeout. Now he's got a runner at second with 2 down. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Now this pitch gets away from the catcher, and a wild pitch is going to send Smith over to third. Brookline suffering a number of defensive mistakes here in the bottom of the first inning, and Needham is taking advantage. They've now got a runner at third with 2 down and a 1-0 lead. Now the 2-1 pitch, and that one is sliced foul over the backstop. 2-2 the count. Here to Levine. Smith still leading off from third. Pitch. Misses outside for ball 3. Payoff pitch just in there for strike 3. I couldn't hear the umpire's call, and it was a while before he gave the punch out, but that does end the first inning. Through 1, the score. Needham 1, Brookline 0. Due up for Brookline in the top of the second will be Jernigan, Martell, and Melton. I'm just Mayfield-Sheehan, and I'm going to take a brief break off the mic, and I'm going to try and chase down an umbrella out of my car so I can, because the shade that I had during pregame is receding. So I want to make sure to keep my tech safe from the sun. I'll be right back. We're back for the top of the second inning, and the first pitch to Connor Jernigan is sliced foul, still in play, and it's going to be caught by Levine for out number 1. So a quick 1 pitch out for Teresi here in the top of the second. Now at the plate for Brookline, the shortstop, number 6, Jack Martell. Swings and misses at that first pitch for strike 1. A 1 pitch. And that one's in there for strike 2. 0-2 pitch, and swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Martell goes down swinging. And just like that, 2 down very quickly here in the top of the second. Now batting, the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. And first pitch, he hits a grounder over to short, fielded by Schwartz, thrown to first, and that'll be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Needham. 2 1-pitch outs and a 3-pitch strikeout in between them. Just 5 pitches is all it takes for Teresi to get out of the top of the second inning. Took me longer to get to my car and fetch my umbrella to keep the sun off of my laptop than it took for Teresi to put the Brookline hitters down in order in that inning. And so with a very short break, Connor Jernigan returns to the mound for the Warriors. his team still trailing 1-0. And an even shorter break than normal, quite frankly, considering that he also took to the plate during the top half of that inning. Due up for Needham will be the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Schwartz, Melton, and Barnett. Got a nice cool breeze blowing through here at Memorial. But still quite the heated day as we've hit a bit of a warm front. Those who watched my stream of the Boston Latin game just 2 days ago, you know how crazy the weather was that day between the fog and the rapidly cooling weather, down to the point that players were able to see their breath by the end of that game. And now we got temperatures up in like the 70s and 80s. New England gonna New England, as leading off for Needham this inning is going to be the shortstop, number 9, Nico Schwartz. He takes the first pitch for strike 1. Schwartz last time against Brookline, he was 2 for 5 with a double, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Big swing and a miss for strike 2 on that one. Needham was able to take the 1-0 lead in the first, courtesy of some defensive miscues by Brookline, as well as some crafty base running. Now the 0-2 pitch. Reaches out and gets a piece of it to foul it off and stay alive. Oh, 2 pitch again. This time hard contact, and it's blocked by Kessler. Can he chase it down? No, he cannot. Now, see, that's one that I would mark as a single. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm too harsh when it comes to giving fielders errors, and sometimes I feel like I'm too generous. It's such a tough judgment call, to be honest. But either way, now up for Needham, the right fielder, number 2, Jeremy Melton. Jernigan steps off the rubber for a sec. Needham's Melton, the last time against Brookline, was 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch and an RBI. Showing bunt, pulls back, goes for the swing. They were trying for a hit and run with Schwartz, but it's fouled off for strike 1. Again, the aggressive base running from Needham. The team combined for 3 stolen bases in the first inning alone, including that double steal by Smith and Gwarek that brought in what is so far the game's only run. Now Jernigan trying to keep Schwartz honest over at first. Oh, 1 pitch comes in low for ball 1. It's so weird to have a pair of players with the same last name, but on different teams instead of the same team. 1-1 pitch, good contact, and that's going to go into center field for a clean base hit. No judgment calls need to be made there. clean single for Melton puts runners at first and second with nobody out. Now at the plate, the left fielder, number 20, Kevin Barnett. Timeout called by Barnett. Last time at the plate against Brookline, he was 2 for 4 with a strikeout and 2 RBI, and his pinch runner, Brooks Clark, scored 2 runs, as Barnett was able to be pinch ran because he was the pitcher that day. Again, Jernigan steps off the rubber as Barnett is showing bunt. Still showing bunt. Pulls back. Runners take off. They throw down to third, and they got him. A huge get for the Brookline defense. And the pitch itself, I'm waiting to see from the scoreboard what they called, because I'm not sure. But this pitch, it's a dribbler up the third baseline, foul. Looks like they called that first pitch a strike, so now an 0-2 count to Barnett. So Melton is at second now with 1 out after the unsuccessful double steal on the pulled back bunt, as this one skips in the dirt but is well covered by Melton for ball 1. It's well covered by Melton, so Melton doesn't advance. You see the confusion? One-two pitch misses just outside for ball 2. 2-2 now, the count to Barnett. 2-2 pitch is sent foul off the netting. Caught by Brookline parent David Martell with the hands there. But a catch from him does not exactly count as an out. So Barnett will stay alive despite the highlight-worthy catch. 2-2 pitch again, misses outside, ball 3. No walks so far for Jernigan, but now in danger of allowing his first. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, and it's dropped by Melton, and he applies the tag for out number 2. And I'm glad I got that strikeout call in just before I sneezed. Second strikeout of the day for Jernigan. Big second out, as now up to the plate comes the catcher, number 6, Nate Solomon. Solomon last time against Brookline was 0 for 3 with a walk, and he takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Jeremy Melton still standing at second. 2 down now in the inning, and we got Melton stepping out from behind the plate for a second. Could he be hurt? I mean, you certainly hope not. He did suffer a hand injury earlier this season in the game at Framingham. And it looks like he's going to go back to his position, but this is definitely something to keep an eye on. You know, Brookline has kind of operated with a catcher-by-committee system this season after the graduation of last year's catcher Jasper Reed, as Jernigan delivers this pitch low for ball 2. But what's interesting is that the catchers have typically rotated with the pitchers, like a lot of pitchers seem to have the catchers that they like to pitch to. And so if Melton gets hurt, that could potentially throw things off. 2-0 pitch. In there for strike one. And that one comes in high for ball 3. Three-one pitch. In there for strike 2. So a full count to Solomon. 3-2 the count, 2 down here in the top, bottom of the second as he fouls that one off to stay alive. Payoff pitch again. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jernigan, and he escapes the jam. Through 2, the score remains Needham 1, Brookline 0. Here we are now in the top of the third. Due up for Brookline, the 8-9-1 hitters, starting now with the third baseman, number 9, Charlie Engelman. First pitch, he hits a hard grounder foul up the third base line, and that'll be strike 1. Engelman did not play last time against Needham. So far for the season, he is 2 for 13 with 3 walks, a steal, 3 runs scored, and an RBI, as this one skips in the dirt for ball 1. Engelman's been out of the hitting lineup for a stretch here, but now getting a chance to work his way back in as he sends one out to left, and that's going to drop actually in center. A single to left center for Charlie Engelman. Looks like the angle I'm shooting from is presenting me with some optical illusions, as I thought that one was going out to left, but really it was going into center. Now at the plate for Brookline, the right fielder, number 13, Nico Hart. Another throw back to check on Engelman, and he dives back safely. Last runner to reach base for Brookline did end up stealing second. That was Daniel Villa, who drew a 2-out walk back in the first. And again, they go back to check on Engelman. As Engelman is taking a sizable lead off from first. Hart shows bunt, but pulls back, and that's going to be ball one. Hart so far this season, just 7 plate appearances to his name, 1 for 6 with a walk, a steal, and a run scored. And they throw, and it gets away from the first baseman. Engelman is going to trot down to second freely, and he's going to hold there at second. The erroneous pickoff attempt. And Engelman, just like that, into scoring position on the E1. 1-0 pitch misses outside, ball 2 to Hart. Now the 2-0. And that one is in there for strike 1. And a throw back to second, and they got him! Oh my gosh, they stuck with the pickoff, and this time it paid off. And it looks like Brookline head coach Brendan O'Connor wants to challenge, perhaps? And it looks like they may have issued a warning to Coach O'Connor on that one. Got to be careful there, as Engelman is picked off at second for out number 1. Now the 2-1 pitch to Hart. That one misses outside for ball 3. And that one's ball 4. Hart the free pass down to first. And now it'll be a runner at first with 1 out as we cycle back to the top of the order with the designated hitter, number 14, Declan Tracy. Tracy, his last time up, he led off the first inning with a strikeout. Now he's showing bunt, pulls back, it's a strike, and Hart takes off for second. So almost a fake-out bunt. And as a result, Hart takes second base. Now a runner back in scoring position for Brookline. Oops, sorry about that. As that one misses for ball 1. One and one, the count to Tracy. 1 down, Hart at second. And Tracy pops this one into shallow center. It's caught and rifled back to the infield to hold Hart at second base. And that is going to be out number 2. Now 2 down, runner still at second. Up comes the first baseman, number 10, Eli Rothman. First one misses for ball 1. This one comes in high for ball 2. Rothman, his last time up, he lined out to the shortstop. Now the 2-0 pitch, and he fouls this one off for strike 1. Two and one, now the count. And they turn around to try for the pickoff at second again, but Hart is ready for it and dives back safely. And this time Rothman goes around, and that's going to be strike 2. Couldn't quite check his swing on that high and inside pitch. Now 2-2 the count. 2 outs, runner at second. Brookline trails Needham by 1. 2-2 pitch, and Rothman fouls it off to stay alive. They were going for a hit and run on that one as Hart took off for third. And now we got a timeout called as again they throw back to second to check on Hart. On Thursday, Brookline struggled early with runners in scoring position and had to wait until the 5th inning before they could get runs on the board, eventually leading to a 5-1 win. Can they have some earlier success today? Rothman, hard hit, but right at a fielder once again. Third baseman takes it, throws to first, and that's going to be out number 3. Rothman with some bad location luck so far at the plate today, as that 5-3 ground out ends the top of the 3rd inning. Needham still holding on to a 1-0 lead over Brookline as we get ready for the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be the 1-2-3 hitters due up for the Rockets. That'll be Casper, Weinbaum, and Gwarek. Back in action for the bottom of the 3rd inning now. Leading off for Needham will be the designated hitter, number 12, Max Casper. Last time up, Casper led off the bottom of the 1st with a hit-by pitch, but was thrown out as part of a double play. Now a hard grounder over to short, fielded by Martell, thrown to first, and it gets away from Rothman. Casper is going to take off for second. And that throw skips away, but it's well covered as Casper goes down to second on the throwing error. Again, Casper reaching base on a defensive miscue. Now at the plate with a runner at second, the center fielder, number 3, Dylan Weinbaum. First pitch misses, and it gets away from the catcher, and Casper gets down to third on the wild pitch. Already the defensive miscues starting to pile up again for Brookline, just as they did in the first inning. Casper now standing at third with nobody out and a 1-0 count to Weinbaum. And Brookline is going to sub out their catcher in the middle of an at-bat. Number 2, Nathan Turetsky, taking over for Avery Melton. And again, we've seen this substitution before, and usually because of an injury. Melton has been banged up. He's been taken out of a couple of different games for that exact reason. As this pitch misses for ball 2. Again, Melton came out of the Framingham game due to a hand injury, and he came out of the Natick game after what I think might have been a head injury as he got thrown out at home when trying to score. As that swing and a miss is strike 1. 2-1 now, the count to Weinbaum. This one's hard contact, and that's going to drop into left field. Runner is going to trot home, and that is the second run of the day for Needham. An RBI single to left for Dylan Weinbaum. Drives in Max Casper. And a meeting at the mound with Jernigan already, and they're actually pulling him already. Interesting. I mean, listen, I know the outing has been less than ideal, but by my mark, Jernigan hasn't even given up a single earned run so far. So with a runner at first and nobody out here in the bottom of the third, Brookline sends to the mound number 16, Jake Levin. So they sub out both catcher and pitcher in a matter of a few pitches. And again, I talked about pitchers having their preferred catcher, but Jernigan stayed in the game against Natick when Melton got subbed out. I mean, I know Jernigan was on kind of a pitch count limit earlier this season due to injury concerns, but I don't know. So after Levin finishes warming up, he will be facing the second baseman, number 15, Will Gwarek. Gwarek, his last time up, he reached on an E6. He stole second and later stole home on a double steal maneuver. And he came in to score the game's first run, and what was up until that last at bat by Weinbaum, it was the only run in the game. So as we get ready to see Jake Levin on the mound now for Brookline, this will be his 5th pitching appearance of the season, his 3rd in relief. He has a 1-1 win-loss record. He's got 11.1 innings pitched. He's allowed 9 runs, 7 of them earned, on 6 hits, 7 walks, 2 hit-by pitches, and 14 strikeouts. He's got a 4.32 ERA, a 1.15 whip, and 8.65 Ks per 7. His last time in was actually back on Wednesday at Braintree. He pitched 2/3 of an inning in relief. We'll see what he does here, as this one misses for ball 1 to Gwarek. Now an attempted pickoff throw, but nowhere close as Weinbaum dives back safely. And this one is skyrocketed out to left center. Outfielders on their horse. It's caught by Matt Richardson. Again, showing off that free safety range from the football team out in center field as he catches that one for out number 1. Now at the plate, the third baseman, number 8, Jacob Smith. Smith, his last time up, he reached on an E3, made that double steal maneuver that allowed Gwarek to score the game's first run, and he later advanced to third on a wild pitch but was stranded at third. He's now got a 1-0. Nope, he's got an 0-0 count because I forgot to reset to zeros. He is up with 1 out and Weinbaum at first. Weinbaum takes off on the first pitch, comes in high, and the throw comes in wide. And that's going to be a successful steal for Dylan Weinbaum. One and 0 now, the count to Smith. This one is chopped into the infield, and it's dropped. Dropped by Martell at short, and Smith is going to reach on an error for the 2nd time today. Runners at first and second now with 1 out, and up comes the first baseman, number 24, Jack Levine. This pitch fouled off for strike 1. You know, this game is actually giving me flashbacks to the last time I covered a game here. For those of you who have been following me since last season, you know that I covered the game between these two teams right here as part of the Bay State Conference playoffs. And that game was a score fest filled with a lot of defensive miscues, as that one gets away from Turetsky for a second, but not far enough to advance the runners. You got to wonder if Memorial Field just has this effect on teams. As Levin checks the runner and delivers. That one misses for ball 2. Who knows? Maybe all the trees around here are causing the players to have a collective allergic reaction. Post your conspiracy theories in the live chat. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 to Levine. It is Jake Levin against Jack Levine. Two guys that share almost 100% of the letters in their name. Just that Levin took the E at the end of Levine's last name, put it at the end of his first name, and took out the C from Jack. That's literally all the difference between their names. This one skied out into left field. Villa, a sliding catch, and he's got it. Pancho Villa with a nice catch out in left. I think that one was in foul territory. Either way, a beauty of a grab. He's had a few of those this season. So now with 2 down and 2 runners still on, up comes the shortstop, number 9, Nico Schwartz. First pitch hits him. Schwartz gets a free pass and loads the bases now with 2 down in the inning. So now up to the plate, the right fielder, number 2, Jeremy Melton. First pitch misses, ball 1. Melton, his last time up, he hit a single to center. He stole second while Schwartz was getting caught stealing third, but he was left stranded as this pitch comes in the dirt for ball 2. An important job for Turetsky right now is to not let any pitches from Levin get past him. With a runner at third, that could be run number 3 if there's a wild pitch or a passed ball. 2-0 pitch in there for strike 1. Two and one the count. Bases loaded. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Needham trying to add to a 2-0 lead. And it's going to be a high bouncer over to second, fielded cleanly by Kessler, and thrown to first for out number 3. So Brookline escapes the jam without further damage. But Needham does get its second run across. Through 3 innings, the score, Needham 2, Brookline 0. Due up coming in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be the 3, 4, 5 hitters for Brookline. Villa, Richardson, and Levin filling in for Jernigan. All right, we're about ready to start the top of the fourth inning. Leading off for Brookline will be the left fielder, Daniel Poncho Villa. First pitch comes in low for ball one. Slight correction on the batters due up this inning, as it looks like Jernigan will remain in the hitting lineup for Brookline, as this pitch comes in low for ball two. So what that means is that Levin replaced Jernigan defensively as the pitcher, but in the hitting roster, he replaces Declan Tracy as the DH, as that one comes in for strike one. So it effectively becomes a defensive switch. Levin takes Jernigan's position, Jernigan takes Tracy's, and this is a hard single to center for Daniel Villa. The short of it is that Levin will be batting in the number one spot where Tracy was, and Jernigan will continue to battle in the 5 spot where he's been. Runner at first, nobody out. Now up, the center fielder, number 18, Matt Richardson. Villa now 1 for 1 today with a walk he has reached on both of his plate appearances. Of course, last time Villa was left stranded at second after stealing second base, so you know Teresi's going to be keeping an eye on Villa over at first. This pitch gets away from the catcher, and Villa is going to get to take second base for free. A wild pitch moves Villa into scoring position. Can Richardson potentially bring him in? As that one is in there for strike one. Richardson, his last time up, he flew out to left to end the first inning. He got good contact on the ball, just too much air under it and not into the spot it needed to be. 1-1 pitch. That hit him. Another hit-by pitch between the two teams. That is 3 hit-by pitches so far today. Again, I'm telling you, the defensive miscues, they just pile up here at Memorial Field. I don't know what it is. As we're now going to have a meeting at the mound for Teresi. Is this going to be the end of his day? If so, that would be so strange. 3+ innings of shutout baseball on the mound and you get pulled? It looks like they're going to stick with Teresi for now, which makes sense to me. Like I said, he's working a shutout so far. Granted, this is a high-pressure situation, and actually my correction was wrong. This is Jake Levin now batting for Brookline. And he shows bunt, and he fouls it off for strike one. I got confused. I thought I saw Jernigan with his batting helmet in between innings, so I figured he must be in the hole. But no, they have decided to have Levin bat in Jernigan's spot. And a timeout is called just as Teresi was getting ready to throw the pitch. So offensively this season, Levin has a 214, 389, 214 slash line, 3 for 14 with 4 walks, 2 steals, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBI. He shows bunt again, and again he fouls it off. Teresi bringing those fast pitches to the outside, and Levin just not able to reach them as he keeps slicing them foul, and now he's going to have to swing with a 2-strike count. He's showing bunt again, and he lays it down successfully. And it's juggled by Teresi. Everyone's going to reach on the E1. A gutsy call to go for the bunt on a 2-strike count, and it pays off perfectly. Bases now loaded with nobody out. Now up to the plate, the shortstop, number 6, Jack Martell. First pitch, big swing and a miss for strike 1. Martell struck out his last time up. And in a situation like this, a fly out to the outfield should bring in a run. A ground out to the right spot should bring in a run. And of course, a base hit could bring in potentially 2 runs. Good contact here, and that's going into center field. This might bring in 2. Well, no, it isn't. They're going to hold the runners, but an RBI single for Jack Martell. A big hit for the co-captain. His first RBI of the year. Just his second base hit as he got off to a horrendous hitting slump. He broke out of it with his first hit in Monday's win over Framingham. And now he's got his second hit, and what a big one it was, as Teresi is now being pulled off the mound. Whoever comes in next will be facing Nathan Turetsky, who took over for Avery Melton behind the plate last half inning. So how about this inning? A single to center by Daniel Villa, a hit by pitch for Matt Richardson, a fielding error by the pitcher on the gutsy 2-strike bunt by Jake Levin, and then a clean single to center for Jack Martell to bring in Villa. Trying to see the jersey number of the new pitcher, and it's number 7. And number 7 is not on the roster I was given. So Needham fans in the live chat, I need your help. I do not know who the new pitcher is, and I need someone to tell me in the live chat. So Teresi ultimately lasts 3+ innings. He is already credited with 1 run. Currently, it would go down as unearned. No, actually, I would still call it earned, because even without the fielding error, Levin would be out at first, but there would still be runners at second and third. The run would have still scored. So 1 earned run for Teresi. He does leave 3 inherited runners for number 7. So it'll be up to the rest of this inning to see how many runs ultimately go on Teresi's record for this game. He has not pitched enough innings. Oops, sorry, bumped the tripod there. Teresi has not pitched enough innings to be credited with a win on the record. as stat-taking rules state, you have to, as a starting pitcher, you have to pitch at least 4 innings in order to be credited for the win at the high school level. Now Turetsky stands in. First pitch to him misses outside, ball 1. Turetsky, another Brookline hitter with limited plate appearances. So far this season, he is 1 for 6 with 2 strikeouts, a run scored, and an RBI. 1-0 pitch, clean contact. That's going to go into right center. This might bring in 2. It is going to bring in 2. They're sending around 11. Brookline has the lead. Nathan Turetsky, the backup catcher, comes in and comes through. Just his second hit of the year, and he drives in 2 runs to give his team the 3-2 advantage. Looks like they're going to pinch run him. Matt Richardson and Jake Levin both come in to score on that one. Martell goes down to third. And pinch running for Turetsky is going to be number 1, Ben Doktoroff. First pitch is in there for a strike, and Doktoroff takes second as the defense doesn't even try. Charlie Engelman was showing bunt, but he pulled back and took strike 1. Runners at second and third, still no out here in the inning. As this pitch comes in high to Engelman for ball 1. So Doktoroff, the pinch runner at second, Martell at third. Engelman at the plate. His last time up, he got a single to center, advanced to second on an erroneous pickoff throw, but then was picked off at second as he slices this one foul for strike 2. Brookline putting together a big offensive rally here in the top of the 4th. 1-2 pitch, and he gets him swinging. A big strikeout for the first out of the inning, coming from the relief pitcher, number 7, Jason Warich. Shout out in the live chat to Aliyah Hussein for giving me the name of the new pitcher. Hope I'm not flubbing either last name. If I am, again, let me know in the live chat. I want to get things as accurately as I can. Now at the plate is Nico Hart. First pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. Hart, the right fielder, his last time up, he drew a walk, stole second, but was stranded at second. Now up with runners at second and third and 1 down. And he hits a dribbler foul up the first base line, almost bounced back into fair territory. And that would have been really interesting because if the ball bounces back into fair territory, it is a fair ball. As long as, you know, it bounces back into fair territory before crossing first base. 0-2 count to Hart. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Warich. And big strikeouts for him as he tries to limit the damage. Now at the plate, the designated hitter, number 14, Declan Tracy. First pitch, and it comes in low for ball 1. Tracy, his last time up, he flew out to center. Before that, he struck out. So 0 for 2 so far today, hoping to bring in one of the runners in scoring position right now. That one's in there for strike 1. Martell at third, Doktoroff at second. 2 down here in the top of the 4th. Brookline trying to get some insurance runs after taking the lead. And this one's contact, but it's a grounder right to the second baseman. Gorick fields it cleanly and throws to first for out number 3. So that ends the top of the 4th inning, but what a big inning for Brookline's bats. A huge rally capping off with back-to-back RBI hits by Jack Martell and Nathan Turetsky, 2 guys that only had 1 hit to their names coming into this contest, come through with a pair of big ones as Brookline takes the lead over Needham 3-2. In the bottom of the 4th, due up will be the 8-9 one-hitters for Needham, Barnett, Solomon, and Casper, as Jake Levin returns to the mound for another inning of relief work after taking over for Jernigan last inning. Brookline is keeping a potential relief pitcher loose. As you can see, number 21, James Dialchand Erickson, walking up the line to get to a little spot out here deep in right field where pitchers typically warm up. You know, no proper bullpen out here at Memorial Field. And I feel like most high school fields don't have a proper bullpen, but, you know, you make do with what you have. Brookline now with a lead that they have to try and hold on to. They weren't able to hold on to the lead last time against Needham. They went up 3-0, ended up losing 8-4. And now here in the bottom of the 4th today, leading off for the Rockets will be the left fielder, number 20, Kevin Barnett. First pitch misses inside, ball 1. And this one is sliced foul for strike 1. Barnett, his last time up, he struck out in the 2nd inning. Now facing a 1-1 count against Levin. And he launches this one deep to center. Richardson on his horse. Couldn't catch it, and it's out of play. It was juggled by Richardson and lost over the wall, so Barnett is going to take second on what is essentially a ground rule double. So a quick jolt of offense to start off the bottom of the 4th from Kevin Barnett. Now with a runner in scoring position representing the potential tying run, up comes the catcher, number 6, Nate Solomon. First pitch shows bunt, but pulls back as the pitch comes in low for ball 1. Solomon, his last time up, he struck out to end the 2nd inning. Barnett had a much better result this time at the plate. We'll see what Solomon does as Levin turns around to check on Barnett. No one was covering second anyhow. Showing bunt again, and this time he lays it down successfully. Picked up by Levin, thrown to Kessler at first, And that's going to be out number 1, but it will advance the runner. Solomon does his job on the sac bunt. And now with a runner at third and 1 out, up comes the designated hitter, number 12, Max Casper. That one misses inside for ball 1. Casper, his last time up, he reached on a throwing error and later came in to score the team's second run of the game. Big crack of the bat, though, and this one's going to be launched out to center field. Richardson's going to have to chase that one to the wall. This game is tied on an RBI double to center by Max Casper. So 2 doubles in 3 at-bats tie the game for Needham in the blink of an eye. Now at the plate, the center fielder, number 3, Dylan Weinbaum. This one he pops up into right field. Hart is under it, and he's got it. Casper's going to take off for third. They're going to make a play for it, but Casper slides in safe. So that is out number 2. Weinbaum does advance the runner, however, on a fly out to right. And now with 2 down and the go-ahead run just 90 feet from the plate, up comes the second baseman, number 15, Will Gwarek. First pitch in there for strike 1. Gwarek, his last time up, he flew out to center. 0-1 pitch. Hard contact, bounces off of Levin's glove, recovered by Kessler, and thrown to first for out number 3. Huge play by the Brookline defense, and honestly a big play from Levin on that one. If that doesn't ricochet off his glove, that might go into center field to bring in the go-ahead run. Instead, it will be a tie through 4 innings at 3 runs apiece. The score, Brookline 3, Needham 3. Due up for Brookline in the top of the 5th inning will be the 2-3-4 hitters, Rothman, Villa, and Richardson. As we head into this 4th intermission, I'd like to take a moment to spotlight a local charity for the Brookline area, that being the Brookline Education Foundation. The Brookline Education Foundation raises funds to help promote growth and innovation among Brookline educators, growth that can then be passed on to the children of this community. For over 40 years, this foundation has given out a variety of grants across the educational landscape. These include Idea Lab grants for teachers that want to present their students with new and exciting projects, and teacher grants for educators that want to further develop their own skills to bring to the classroom. Many initiatives which have become staples in the public schools of Brookline started as BEF grants. They support literacy education training, new methods in STEM education, project-based learning, mentoring of new principals and superintendents, and collaborative work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, just to name a few. Visit brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846 to find out how you can help support our town's educators and, through them, our students. Once again, that's brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846. First pitch, and Rothman cracks the bat out to left center, and it's caught by Weinbaum out in center for out number 1. Rothman's been getting good contact all day, but it's always been right at the fielders, as that'll be the first quick first out of the inning here in the top of the 5th. Remember, as always, you can find out all you need to know about our local charity spotlight in the description section of the video, as Villa also takes a quick swing of the bat. It's a grounder to third, throw to first for out number 2. 2 pitches and 2 outs for Jason Warrich, the relief pitcher in his second inning of work. So check out the description of the video for more information about the Brookline Education Foundation. And if you know of any local charities that you think are deserving of a local charity spotlight here on these streams, feel free to reach out to me about them. You can see my email address in the bottom right corner of your screen. Brookline going down fast here on the top of the 5th. Now up the center fielder, number 18, Matt Richardson, as that one misses outside for ball 1. Richardson, his last time up, was hit by a pitch and later came in to score what was at the time the game-tying run. Now we're tied up again at 3 apiece as Richardson takes strike 1. And they said he didn't go on that one, so that's going to be 2-1. That pitch in there for strike 2. 2-2 pitch. And Richardson slices this one. It's going to stay in the infield. Warrich calls for it himself and makes the grab for out number 3. 7 pitches was all Warrich needed to get out of the top of the 5th inning. And now we get ready to go to the bottom of the 5th, still tied at 3 apiece. Due up for Needham is going to be the 4, 5, 6 hitters, Smith, Levine, and Schwartz. Now we get ready for the bottom of the 5th inning. Jake Levin back out on the mound for Brookline, continuing his relief effort. Leading off for Needham is going to be the third baseman, number 8, Jacob Smith. First pitch misses low for ball 1. Smith, his last time up, he reached on an E6. I think he's reached on an E6 both of his times at the plate so far, as this pitch comes in high for ball 2. Or no, he reached on an E3 his first time up in the first inning, so he's reached on an error each of his 2 times at the plate so far. This one's in there for strike one. Now the 2-1 comes in low. This is ball 3. 3-1 now the count to Smith. And this one fouled off for strike 2. Payoff pitch is fouled off, and Smith stays alive. As we get into later stages of this game, you start to wonder about the heat taking its effect on the players. As we have another payoff pitch, and this one's going to come in high for ball 4. So Smith reaches base cleanly with no error questions this time as he draws a walk. Now coming up for Needham with a runner at first, the first baseman, number 24, Jack Levine. First pitch, and he cracks it out to left. It's being tracked out and left by Villa, and he's got the grab for out number 1. And we've got a defensive substitution at shortstop for Brookline. That is number 15, Leander Gosling. Now up with 1 out and a runner at first. Up comes the shortstop, number 9, Nico Schwartz. First pitch comes in low, ball 1. That pitch in there for strike 1. Schwartz, his last time up, he was hit by a pitch. And before that, he led off the second inning with a single as a pickoff attempt is unsuccessful on Smith. So Schwartz 1 for 1 so far today, with a hit by pitch, caught stealing once, and another throw to check on Smith. Try and keep him honest with the count at 1-1 and 1 down. Got to be careful. An erroneous pickoff throw can give him a free base, as this one is cracked out to left center, and that's going to go to the wall. This will go for extra bases. Schwartz down to second. Smith is being sent around for home, and Needham takes the lead. The go-ahead RBI double by Nico Schwartz gives the Rockets a 4-3 lead over Brookline. Got a meeting at the mound with Levin. We know Brookline has been warming up a potential third pitcher. in James Dialchin-Derrickson. We'll see what they decide to do. In the meantime, due up is the right fielder, number 2, Jeremy Melton. First pitch, and he cracks it up center. And it looks like they're going to send the runner around, but this one is actually going to be held at third. Late takeoff holds him at third. As a single to center puts runners at the corners with one down. Now up comes the left fielder, number 20, Kevin Barnett. Big chance to bring in an insurance run here for Barnett with runners at the corners. First pitch, and he sends it out to right. It's being tracked and caught by Hart. Runner tags, heads for home, and they're not going to get to him in time. He's going to score on the sac fly. Nico Schwartz comes in to score. And now with 2 down and a runner at first, up comes the catcher, number 6, Nate Solomon. First pitch is chopped high. It's into shallow right. It's tracked by Kessler and caught for out number 3. And that was the bottom of the 6th. I forgot to change the scoreboard, but now we head into the top of the 6th inning. Needham having retaken the lead now. The score after 5, the Needham Rockets 5, the Brookline Warriors 3. A slight parallel from the last time these two teams played, as last time Brookline took a 3-0 lead, and then Needham rallied for 5 runs to take a 5-3 lead at the midpoint of the game. Brookline managed to get a run back and cut it to 5-4, but Needham added 3 more runs before the game was over, and that ended us with our final score of 8-4 in that one. Due up for Brookline will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters, and they're all going to be substitutes. Jake Levin, the relief pitcher, Leander Gosling, the substitute shortstop, and Nathan Turetsky, the substitute catcher. Now coming up to the plate for Brookline, the pitcher, number 16, Jake Levin. Last time up, Levin laid out a gutsy 2-strike bunt that resulted in a fielding error from the pitcher, and he would later come in to score. Now the 0-1 is fouled off, and it's a quick 0-2 count to Levin. Jason Warrich continuing to take care of business as Needham's relief pitcher. as this pitch comes in high for ball 1. Right now, if the result were to not change, Warrich would be credited with the pitching win for Needham, as that pitch misses for ball 2. 2-2, the count to Levin, as Warrich steps off the rubber for a sec. Now ready for the 2-2 pitch. Just misses, ball 3. You could tell Solomon and Levin both kind of froze for a second to see which way that call was going to go. Now we've got a full count. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Levin goes down on strikes. Now up, the shortstop, number 15, Leander Gosling. First pitch comes in low for ball 1. Gosling currently looking for his first base hit of the season. So far, 0 for 9 with a strikeout and a run scored. Or 0 for 9 with 8 strikeouts and a run scored, as that one misses outside for ball 2. Gosling usually relied on more for his defensive capabilities, a versatile infielder that you can put in a lot of different spots, but still working on his abilities at the plate, as this one comes in low for ball 3. Now the 3-0 pitch. Down Broadway for strike 1. And that one misses low, and Gosling gets a free pass down to first. Now coming up for Brookline, the catcher, number 2, Nathan Turetsky. Turetsky came through with a clutch hit his last time at the plate, a 2-run single to right center that at the time gave Brookline a 3-2 lead. Now his team trailing 5-3. As again they throw back to Gosling. They don't want him stealing and getting into scoring position. Turetsky slices the first pitch he sees into shallow right. It's being tracked by Gwarek, and he's got it for out number 2. Now coming up to the plate, the third baseman, number 9, Charlie Engelman. Engelman so far 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. Now the pitch misses high, ball 1. Want to know the count, 2 down, runner at first. Brookline trails Needham by 2. And Engelman cracks this one out to left. Left fielder charging in, and he's got the catch for out number 3. So that brings the top of the 6th inning to an end. The score as we head into the bottom half, Needham 5, Brookline 3. Due up in the bottom half of the 6th. It'll be the 1, 2, 3 hitters. Casper Weinbaum and Gwarek. Remember, if you're enjoying the broadcast, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. And if you've got anything to say, feel free to say it in the live chat. And if you've got any questions pertaining to what I do, the services I provide, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team or player, you can check out the links at the bottom right corner of your screen. You see the URL for my personal website, jessesports.com. My email address right below that if you have any questions you just want to ask me directly. And right below that, a link to my Instagram account, or the URL at least for my Instagram account, where you can see highlights from previous games that I've streamed. Levin back on the mound for Brookline. Despite a tough fifth inning where he gave up 2 runs, as Needham took the lead on an RBI double by Nico Schwartz and a sac fly by Kevin Barnett. Now coming to the plate, the designated hitter, number 12, Max Casper. Casper, his last time up, he got an RBI double to center that, at the time, tied the game at 3. Big swing and a miss for strike 1 there. That one misses, ball 1. This one is launched out to center. Richardson just looking up and watching it go! Circle the bags, Max Casper. A launch to straightaway center results in a solo home run and run number 6 for the Rockets. And Rockets looking like an adequate team name after a liftoff like that. Max Casper starting off the bottom of the 6th with a bang. Needham now up 3 over Brookline, 6-3. Now up the center fielder, number 3, Dylan Weinbaum. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. And that one catches the corner for strike 1. Looking out to the outfield, looks like a Brookline parent chased down the home run ball and is bringing it back, presumably to eventually give to Casper, as that pitch misses outside for ball 2. And that's a nice little moment there. I mean, for these high school kids, a home run doesn't come every day. So you want to save the ball that you launch out of the park. As this one's going to be a grounder up the middle and into center field for a single. So Weinbaum gets to first, and now we're going to have a meeting at the mound. And this is going to end the day for Jake Levin. And now they're going to bring in a new relief pitcher. And it looks like it's going to be number 21, James Dialchand Erickson. So Levin came in the third inning with no outs on the board, so he pitched a full 3+ innings in relief of the original starter, Connor Jernigan, who went 2+ innings. And ironically enough, Dylan Weinbaum was the last batter that both pitchers faced. As for both Levin and Dialchand Erickson, Will Gwarek will be the first batter that they face in their relief outings. So far this season on the mound, James Dialchand Erickson now making his 8th pitching appearance, his 6th relief appearance, as he's been relied on a lot out of the bullpen, and he's eaten up a lot of innings up to this point. He has a 1-3 win-loss record. He's pitched a team-leading 25 2/3 innings so far, having given up 20 runs, 14 earned, on 27 hits, 15 walks, 2 hit-by pitches, and 19 strikeouts. He has a 3.82 ERA, a 1.64 WHIP, and 5.18 Ks per 7. In fact, he is coming off a relief appearance just 2 days ago on Thursday, as he pitched the last 2/3 of an inning in the win over Boston Latin. We have a defensive substitution as well for Brookline, as number 5, Keenan Sawada, enters the game at second base, replacing Nady Kessler. Now at the plate is the Needham second baseman, number 15, Will Gwarek, as he takes ball 1. So with this appearance, Keenan Sawada continues his streak of appearing in every game so far this season for Brookline, though this is the first game this season that he did not get the start for the Warriors. And we see why he's coming in as a backup, as Nady Kessler is heading to the bullpen for Brookline as another potential reliever, depending on how things go here. And that one's in there for a strike. 2-1, now the count to Gwarek. Weinbaum standing at first with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. And Gwarek launches this one deep out to center. Richardson on his horse, and off the wall it goes. No, it's over the fence. Oh my gosh, that's another home run for Needham. 2 home runs in 3 at-bats for the Rockets. Brookline trying to argue that the ball actually went through the fence and not over it. They're trying to argue it went through a gap. As if you look out in center field, there are gaps between these fences. But it looks like they are going to score this as a home run. Brookline very unhappy with that call, as Needham now extends their lead out to 8-3. 2 runs come in to score on that second home run. They're still discussing it. So for right now, it's a home run. What a zany play. I mean, if that gets ruled as a double, then you put runners at second and third and no runs come in. But if the ruling maintains, which it looks like it will, so after Gwarek's two-run homer, up comes the third baseman, number 8, Jacob Smith. And Smith pops this one into shallow left. It's a race for it, and it's caught by Villa out in left for out number 1. And, you know, I feel for the officials on that home run call because, like, your position is in the infield. How on earth are you supposed to account for something like that? As the first pitch into Jack Levine is a called strike 1. And that one misses for ball 1. I mean, I don't know if anyone in this live stream, I don't know if my camera managed to catch that ball, if you guys were able to see, as this one is cracked past, barely past Rothman. He tries to recover, but that's not going to get there in time. Rothman frustrated with that one, but personally, I wouldn't score that one an error. That one looked like a really tough play. I would actually call that a single for Jack Levine. And it looks like, is Brookline making a move to the bullpen again? It looks like they are going to pull James Dialchand-Erickson and bring in Nady Kessler as their fourth pitcher of the day. So with one out and a runner on first here in the bottom of the 6th, Dialchand-Erickson only pitches one third of an inning rather. As Kessler now taking over on the mound, it looks like Dialchand-Erickson is going to be moved to second in place of Sawada. And actually, I'm getting so confused with so many things going on. I think there was a pinch hitter or maybe a pinch runner. Yeah, I think there's a pinch runner now for Levine, and that's number 16, Brooks Clark. So Nady Kessler, now the fourth pitcher for Brookline today. His first pitching outing in a little while. He has had 2 relief outings that he had earlier in the season. He's pitched 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, 1 of them earned, on 5 hits and 3 walks while striking out 3. He has a 1.17 ERA with a 1.33 whip and 3.5 Ks per 7. So he's been effective out of the bullpen in the limited sample size we have for him so far this year. And with 1 out and Clark at first, up comes the shortstop, number 9, Nico Schwartz. As this one misses for ball 1. Now this pitch misses low for ball 2. Two-0 pitch skips in the dirt for ball 3. So Kessler struggling to find the zone to start out this pitching outing. And that one's in there for strike 1. Schwartz was getting ready to trot down to first, but ump says strike 1. But that one misses outside, and that's going to be a free pass to first. And actually, that wasn't Nico Schwartz. We've got a pinch hitter. That's number 21, Dylan Maloney. So I don't know who is batting as they're starting to bring in a flurry of pinch hitters. As this one from number 14, Peter Cohen, is fouled off for strike 1. A 1 pitch to Cohen, misses inside, ball 1. And this one's going to be a slow dribbler up the third base line. And that's going to be a foul ball for strike 2. So Peter Cohen batting in place of Jeremy Melton. That one misses wildly for ball 2. Well covered by Turetsky to prevent any runners from advancing. It'll be a 2-2 count to Cohen. And this one he launches out to right center, and that's going to go through the gap. And that's going to bring in at least 1 run. They're going to wheel around to second. Cohen comes into second with a double. Both runs come in to score. Needham's now got 10. A 2-run double to right center for Peter Cohen, as Clark and Maloney both come in to score. Now we've got number 11 at the plate, another pinch hitter, as he takes strike 1. 1 out, runner on second for number 11, Alex Giancola, as that one misses for ball 1. And they say he went around on that one. That's going to be strike 2. Brief timeout called. Giancola batting for Barnett, as this one skips in the dirt for ball 2. Hard contact here, a grounder to second. It's juggled by Dielchin Erickson, recovers and gets it to first in time on the slick underhand throw for out number 2. Cohen does advance to third. And we've got another pinch hitter, number 22, Joseph Mullaney. First pitch, and he hits a grounder. It's fielded somehow by Gosling, thrown to first, not going to be in time. That's going to be an RBI infield single for Mulaney as Cohen comes in to score run number 11 for the Rockets. I am not able to see the jersey number right now, so I can't even tell you who's batting at this moment. As this pitch comes in low for ball 1. Mulaney was batting for Nate Solomon. So we're at the top of the order, but I'm not sure who's batting as it's sent out to right, and that's going to drop for another base hit. Mulaney's going to round and go to third. A throw down to third is not going to be in time, as that is a clean single to right center for number 19. And that's Ben Black, as he batted in place of Casper and hit a single to right center. And until I see a jersey number, I can't tell you who's batting right now. I do know runners at the corners and 2 down, as that first pitch misses for ball 1. I'm trying to keep up with all these substitutions, folks. Needham is just pinch hitting through their entire order at this point, as this one gets away, and Black is going to go down to second freely on the wild pitch. And that'll be ball 2. Now this pitch inside, ball 3. That one's down Broadway for strike 1. And that's strike 2. Kessler trying to put an end to this rough inning, as this one is fouled off. And the batter is still Dylan Weinbaum. So we have our first non-pinch hitter, and that foul ball keeps him alive at 3-2. And that one misses for ball 4. And it looks like we're going to have another pinch hitter. Or are we having a pinch runner? Okay, looks like we got a pinch hitter, and I think this is number 18. Indeed, this will be number 18 hitting for Gwarek, and that is Charlie Ledbury. First pitch to Ledbury misses inside for ball 1. And that one misses for ball 2. And he gets a piece of that one for strike 1. Ledbury marks either the 6th or 7th pinch hitter we have seen this inning. I didn't quite notice if Clark was hitting for Levine or if he just ran for him. If he was hitting for him, that marks 7 pinch hitters now. As he lines this one into left, that brings in another run. As Mullaney comes in. And Needham now reaches 12. One more run in, and we're going home. This started as a 2-run ball game coming into this inning. But the hit parade that Needham has put on this inning, and there's your ball game. Single through the left gap. That ends it. The run comes in to score. It ends on an RBI single by number 8, Jacob Smith. So we end it in 6 innings. 8 runs scored by Needham in the 6th to blow it up and blow it out. Smith's RBI single through the left gap drives in Ben Black with the last run of the ball game. The final score here at Memorial Field in 6 innings, Needham 13, Brookline 3. A rough way to finish for Brookline in what was at one point seemed like a pretty winnable game. I mean, you wouldn't believe that Brookline was actually ahead midway through this game. Things started out rough for Brookline as they gave up a run in the first on some defensive miscues. Then gave up a second run in the third, again owed in part to some defensive mistakes. But Brookline put together a big comeback in the top of the 4th inning as they drove in 3 runs to take in a 3-2 lead at the midway point. But in the bottom half of the 4th, Needham responded pretty quick with a pair of doubles that brought in the tying run, knotted things up at 3 apiece after 4. Then in the 5th inning, 2 more runs were driven in by Needham, one on a double and one on a sac fly to make it 5-3. And then in the 6th inning, the floodgates just broke open as Needham exploded for another 8 runs to induce the mercy rule win here after 6 innings. So thank you all for tuning in today. Once again, Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, happy to have brought you live coverage of today's high school baseball game. Remember, if you enjoyed the broadcast, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. If you got any comments watching this after the live stream is over, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And be sure to look down below in the description section of the video for all the information you need about our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. Find out how you can help support our town's educators and through them, our students. And of course, check out the bottom right corner of your screen for some helpful URLs. My personal website, jessesports.com. Find out more about me, the services I provide, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team or player. Below that, my email address if you've got any direct questions for me. And below that, the URL for my Instagram account where I post highlights from previously streamed games. But for this game, that's going to do it. The final score through 6 innings, Needham 13, Brookline 3. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good rest of your weekend.